Hello everyone. In this video, we take a look at one of the very popular floor coverings, laminate flooring. We will not consider individual laminate flooring manufacturers and biasedly discuss which is better and which is worse. In the criteria for choosing a quality coating, we will try to use only objective data about the laminate flooring, and after watching this video to the end, many will be able to understand how to identify the pros and cons of the coating, and based on this information, it is already possible to personally decide which laminate flooring is good and which is possible. Not really. What does a laminate flooring consist of? Laminate in a cut looks like a multi-layer cake. The outer and most basic coating is the very same lamination, overlay. The top layer is composed of melamine resins and corundum. It is the top layer that is responsible for the durability of the laminate. It is also designed to protect from moisture and ultraviolet rays. Furniture decorative paper located under it with a pattern or wood texture applied on it. The class and cost of the laminate depends on the thickness and quality of the protective coating. Texture paper is applied to high-density wood board. A special resin-impregnated paper is glued to the lower, back part of the laminate. The task of the lower part of the laminate is to protect the entire board from moisture penetration from the base, as well as to resist the deformation of the board. What is the difference between laminate flooring? Laminate was invented in the 70s in Sweden. Laminate flooring has its own classification, approved by European standards. All manufacturing firms try to adhere to this classification. The main criterion in the classification is the load resistance of the laminate. The first number in the classification indicates the intended use of the laminate, number 2 is for household use, 3 is for commercial use. The second number indicates the permissible degree of stress on the floor covering. Laminate classification, load class. 21 only home areas with low walking intensity, bedroom or guest room. 22 only home premises with an average intensity of walking, living room, dining room. 23 home areas with increased intensity of walking, kitchen, hallway. 31 commercial spaces with low traffic, for example, hotel room, conference room or small office. 32 commercial premises with medium traffic, kindergartens, offices, small shops. 33 and 34 commercial premises with increased traffic intensity, corridors, large offices, shopping centers. This classification gives the buyer an idea of the permissible load when choosing a laminate in a particular case. It is also worthwhile to get acquainted with the abrasion class of the laminate. Yes, in addition to the well-known classification from class 21 to 34, there is another criterion that can be indicated in the product passport as AC. The abrasion class of the laminate is checked using a special device, Tabor abrasimeter. The procedure is called the Tabor test. A Tabor test is a test of the strength of the top layer of a floor covering. For this, a special device with a rotating circle is used, on which the test sample is fixed. A rotating abrasive wheel is pressed against the sample from above with a certain force. According to this classification, AC1 is considered the lowest. The sample must withstand only 900 revolutions in the Tabor apparatus. Such a laminate belongs to the 21st load class. And the AC6 is considered to be increased, withstands more than 7,000 revolutions, belongs to the 34th class. A link to the source of the classification of the European regulations is attached in the description of this video. The generally accepted and well-known classification of load, from 21 to 34 class was developed in Europe and is controlled by the EPLF Association, stands for European Producers of Laminate Flooring. This classification is received by the members of this association. These companies confirm that they manufacture and sell laminate flooring only on their own behalf and under their own responsibility. Only those manufacturers who have committed themselves to ensuring high-quality standards and have the appropriate production facilities can join the association. Go to the website of the association and find out about its members. You can follow the link that I left in the description or attached comments to this video. For members of the association, the classification from class 21 to 34 is issued on the basis of passing various tests, among which there are the most important tests showing what kind of load the laminate can withstand. In the resistance of the laminate to shock loads and wheels from the chair, the density of the wood board plays an important role, and therefore, it may not be superfluous to compare the density of the board from different manufacturers. Also, the density of the HDF board affects both the quality of the castle joint and its moisture resistance. Often, the laminate from unknown and inexpensive manufacturers can have a low density of the HDF board, since the density of the board greatly affects its cost. The quality of the top coating of the laminate also affects the resistance to shock loads and wheels, and the main protection against abrasion is the presence of corundum in the top coat. The service life and cost of the laminate depends on the amount of corundum used for the protective coating. When choosing a laminate floor, you also need to pay attention to the service life of the coating. It is advisable to find out the service life declared by the manufacturer as guaranteed. Different manufacturers of laminate flooring, with the same classification for their products, the guaranteed service life may be different, and this is a significant argument when choosing a laminate. Do not forget about other not unimportant characteristics of the laminate. The thickness of the board is of great importance and affects the cost of production. The thickness of the laminate can vary from 6 to 12 millimeters. A board that is too thin has a thinner and more fragile lock connection. This affects both the life of the laminate and the process of laying it. Thin locks are more likely to break during the connection of the planks. And during operation, a thin lock, having a smaller contact area of the two panels, holds them together worse, and also wears out faster, due to which gaps may appear and moisture can get into the joint. Normal thickness is considered to be laminate from 8 millimeters. The moisture resistance of the laminate is the ability of the laminate for a certain time to resist when exposed to water on the locking part. Moisture resistance depends on the density of the slab, the quality of the lock, the hydrophobic treatment of both the slab and the joints themselves. According to the totality of the criteria, one conclusion can be made: the moisture-resistant option simply cannot be cheap. There are two types of laminate, adhesive and glueless. Now the adhesive version of the laminate, please do not confuse it with flexible, PVC, is gradually being replaced by a glueless laminate with a lock type of connection. Laying the laminate on an adhesive layer requires experience and skill, so it is better to entrust the installation to a professional. Glueless laminate is easier to lay. The main thing is to carefully read the instructions, and follow the rule, measure and check 7 times, cut once. As with all flooring, laminate flooring has requirements for the subfloor. As in the case of parquet boards, the subfloor must be strong and even. The laminate is laid on a special substrate made of foamed polyethylene, polystyrene or natural cork. Some laminate already comes with a backing glued to the back. This backing is only suitable for perfectly flat floors, for example when laying on plywood. The most widely used underlay, made of foamed polyethylene, has different thicknesses from 2 to 5 millimeters, which allows you to smooth out some floor defects and create additional sound insulation. Many manufacturers do not recommend installing a substrate thicker than 3 millimeters on concrete bases, as this can negatively affect the lock joints. It is worth noting that the substrate for the laminate can also have different densities. What's the difference, you ask? Everything is simple. A low-density substrate will sag faster under the weight of the furniture and the laminate itself. After that, your steps will become stronger and more distinctly audible to you and your neighbors. There are substrates made of extruded polystyrene foam. They are denser, and a cork substrate has an even higher density, but it costs more. Here, as they say, everything depends on the wallet and needs. Laminate floors care. From what kind of care the laminate will be, its external condition and service life depend. The castle part of the laminate does not like water very much, but this does not mean that wet cleaning cannot be done. The main thing with such cleaning is not to breed puddles for a long time. When cleaning, do not use abrasive powders, and the laminate is very easy to clean and vacuum. For the repair of small chips on the laminate, there are special tools to help restore the coating. Pros and cons of laminated parquet. Affordable prices for budget items. Easy to install. Easy to clean. Does not fade in the sun, more wear resistant, in comparison with a parquet board. There are a large number of laminate options, differing in texture, color, the presence of a chamfer at the joint or an uneven surface in a rustic style. Poor combustion support. Cons of laminate. Static, can collect dust, colder to the touch than parquet. In a cheap laminate, gaps may appear, as well as the effect of a step, when the boards to be joined have different heights at the junction. The joints of ordinary laminate do not like moisture. Laminate can be classified as a more versatile and practical coating. It fits perfectly in most cases, is unpretentious and does not hit the pocket so hard. But, when buying, it is important to know that you are buying a quality floor covering. And if your goal is to buy a quality laminate that will last a long time and without losing its appearance, Try to choose a proven brand that has been working for years and has positive statistics. On this, friends, let me finish. Do not forget to like who this video was useful to. Good luck to everyone and see you soon.